Hey everyone, this is PaperSpock, and last time I finally managed to get a win out of this reveal deck I put together, so I want to build on that and see if I can get another win out of it. I unfortunately only got one cube out of it because I snapped my opponent retreated. They may have just retreated anyway, though. But I did get a win. Regardless, I managed to put things together in a way that they worked and in a way that they were scary. Starting out, I get Wakandan Embassy, which is going to strengthen all the cards in my hand, which is very welcome. I'm going to get Agent 13 on the board. I played in a different location, so generally when a Guardians of the Galaxy card plays, the effect is usually going to be something like, if your opponent played a card here on this turn, get some amount of power. So I'm very glad to have seen Rocket over there without me having done anything. And it feels good to be ahead, so I'm going to play Medusa next. That's going to make Medusa stronger. I'd really love to see Beast. What is this card I got? Ongoing. 2 power for each card in your opponent's hand. That could be fun. My opponent isn't using a lot of cards, it looks like. That could end up being pretty powerful for me. I'm gonna... How good is Nakia right now? I don't know. I think I'm gonna save Nakia. No, I'm gonna use Nakia, get the most out of her. Because she's 3 cost, Korg's only 1. Korg is better earlier in the game, but it did allow me to do that beast setup like I'd been wanting to. On turn 5, cards cost 1 more. That is good to know. That is unfortunate for what I'm trying to do, but it's good to know. Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative is an interesting card because it takes my opponent and it switches the power and cost for each card. So they can, some weird situations where cards that are usually kind of bad end up becoming really good. I just drew Wong. And Wong is unfortunately a 5-cost card, so that would cost me everything to play. But, you know, I think I'm okay with that. I think I can maybe do some interesting stuff with Wong. Unfortunately, now that I think, this is one of those cases where you haven't thought things through fully, and then you're like, oh no. Because how am I going to get strength to these other locations? Well, the answer is with White Tiger and then Medusa. So what's going to happen is a 7, and hopefully put a 7 to both locations. Or 2 7s to 1, and then hold this middle location. I don't feel good enough to snap, but I think there's a good chance of me winning. I am going to drop down the agent over here, because that's going to make that a tie. So this is actually a pretty good position. In fact, I'm going to snap. It's a cautious snap. It's a snap that I don't think will necessarily work out. It's a snap that I'm going to do. And they retreated off of that. That's interesting. That is really interesting. And I don't feel quite as bad about that retreat because I wasn't quite as confident of my win. So I feel like I was able to lock that down by snapping in this case. Alright, it feels good to have 2 wins in a row. I feel like either I was on a bad luck streak and now I'm on a better luck streak, or maybe I'm beginning to figure out how this deck works a little better, maybe a little of both. Anyway, I think I'm going to do a couple more games with this. I was going to stop here because I hit about 6 runs, which is what I did with the last deck. And I was like, maybe I'll go back to that or try out showing out off one. I'm stumbling over my words all of a sudden. But I had thought maybe I'll switch to one of my other decks, show them off, or go back to the other deck I was having a little more luck with last time. But you know what? No, I'm going to do a couple more runs here and see how that ends up going. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.